Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Trevik Peterson.
I guess I kind of got an intro out here. I was like, is that for me? Now for the show? I wasn't sure. But Chris is funny. Sometimes like that. It's good to be here, guys. Really good to be here. How are you guys doing tonight? Somewhere in there? Pretty surprised I'm back, if I'm being honest, actually. Mostly because I didn't want to be. I had told Chris, I can't sleep at night, I'm stressed, leave me alone. And the next morning after my last show, she was like, you gotta be back here. And I'm like, let me sleep, woman! Let me have some peace. Give me a week or two, come on now. And then 2 weeks later, she's like, come on, Trevik, you're literally God's gift to women. You've gotta get back here. So, I don't know how true that is, but here I am. But a lot of people had asked me, hey, what got you into comedy in the first place? And I thought about that for about a month. And I realized, oh man, there was this one time when I was probably 9 years old, just a little guy. And it was a family reunion, and it was just my first cousins, so not crazy huge. So half the county was there. And there was a tent set up with dress-up clothes in it. And we're rummaging around in there, and I saw something that probably got in there by accident, but it was a diaper cover. And I don't know if you know what a diaper cover is. It covers up a diaper. Don't need to explain more than that. But this one had a dog face on it. And I'm not talking about a picture of a dog face. I'm talking an entire face. It had the eyeballs, tongue sticking out, floppy ears, everything. So I'm like, I know what I'm gonna do. So I strip down to nothing and throw that bad boy on. And I missed the memo that it's supposed to go on the bum and be cute. So that thing's in the front. And my cousins build a human wall and get me out into the middle of the family reunion and just let me go. And I'm just chicks did great. I don't know what that meant, but they thought it was funny, and I killed. They loved it. They thought it was hilarious. If I tried to do that now, though, I don't think it'd go over so well. That's how you get shot around here. Yeah, but I think there's a lot of times where you really get out there and say something funny and it's awesome. But then there's also a lot of times where you're the butt of the joke, right? You don't actually want people laughing, but they laugh anyways. There was this one time I was playing baseball. Baseball's a loose term. I think we had wiffle balls or something. And I don't know anything about baseball, in fact. There's people talking with the analogy oh, getting to first base with a girl. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't know what that means. I do know from that analogy, though, that I'm just chilling in the dugout. Haven't even made it up to bat yet. That's as far as I've gotten. I'm not at home in the closet. I'm just sitting in the dugout saying, put me in, coach. Maybe one of these years. But I was actually on first base in real life, and they were taking forever to hit the ball, and finally they hit the ball, and I just start sprinting. And I'm sprinting, and out of the corner of my eye, there's someone chasing me, and I'm like, that's weird. Anyways, so I push him back, because I thought maybe that's what they do in baseball. And everybody starts laughing and pointing, and I stop what I'm doing, and everybody's just laughing hysterically, and they're like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't think I pushed him that hard. I'm just running to second base. And they're like, no, you're the first baseman. You just sit over there and wait for the ball. You're not supposed to be running at all. And I'm like, oh, my bad. Because I forgot how this game works. So that was fun. They thought that was a good time. But in comedy, there's times where you make the jokes and it goes well, and sometimes when you're the butt of the joke and it goes well, but then there's also the times where the reverse of that happens, where you think it's going to be super hilarious and it does not go well at all. So I was coming back from the desert, from the sand dunes up at Rexburg when I was up in college, and I was with a bunch of roommates, and the guy that was driving had a date with him, which was just awkward for everybody. I don't know why you'd do that. But we're driving back, and we get to this girl's apartment, and it's just super awkward and super quiet. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to say something funny. Maybe she'll like me. Maybe it'll go well. Who knows? And I think I was so proud of what I came up with. I thought it was just pure comedy gold. So I lean kind of forward a little bit and I say, I think that's your cue to get out. And it did not go well. She did not like that. She opened the door so fast. And she took that cue to get out. Did not go well. And speaking of disappointing girls, it happens a lot. My last story for you guys, I was also at Rexburg at college, and there was a class that my brother was in, and they had like a test for VO2 max. I don't know if you know what that is. Anyways, it's like the worst test in the world. They stick a tube on your face and they make you run on a treadmill until you pass out, and they measure your oxygen level. And I was like, sign me up. That's how boring BYUI is. So I signed up for this thing, and I show up, and there's a girl talking to me, and she's like, okay, this is what we're going to do. Also, we're doing a biomechanics class thing, so can we film you while we do this? And I was like, sure. Wrong. That was the wrong answer. Because what I didn't know is in order to film me, they had to like tape these little reflective balls on like my joints, and I couldn't wear shorts. So I had to be in my Spanx while I'm on this thing filming, which would have been fine, I guess, not my cup of tea. But I get there the next day to do the test, and I was late and nervous about it, right? But I get there and I'm like, man, I've really got to go pee before we do this thing. And I'm talking to the girl like, hey, I gotta run. I'll be super quick. I used to race the microwave growing up. I'll be right back. I can beat a chimichanga easy. You know, back in the days when the commercials were a thing and everybody would run to the bathroom. If you didn't lock the door, your brother would burst in and all of a sudden be standing next to you going in the one toilet. Like, it's a real thing. And she was like, I don't think you needed that much explanation, just go. So I run up, bunch of construction on the floor, so I'm like running for like an hour, go pee, come back, and in this room where we're doing this test, it's just like wall-to-walls mirrors, like it was a setup for a dance studio. So there's like nowhere to be private, and I'm thinking like, I've got some dignity left. I don't know what I was thinking. So I kind of go back and I like hide behind like a chair or whatever that was in the room, and I like drop my pants and I look down and realize I had been in way too much of a hurry coming back from the bathroom. And it was apparent. And I don't know what to do in that situation. I don't know, like, put on your engineering caps, because there's not a lot of good solutions. I could have run back, used the hand dryer. Didn't have time for that. So I'm panicking, trying to dab it out. And then I'm like whipping, getting some action in there. And that hurt. Don't do that. So then I put on my big boy brain and I was like, okay, we're going to engineer a way out of this. So I'm sitting back there trying not to draw attention, and I'm stretching it out to get more surface area, and I'm flicking it, and that's working good. And then I'm like blowing, and it's going great, making great progress, and that's when I lock eyes with this girl. And she was not impressed either. I didn't want to be there. Both were just miserable. So I shake off, I'm like, yep, there goes the rest of my dignity, and I walk over. And then I couldn't help but thinking, like, man, I really wish I had that diaper cover right now. All right, you guys, you've been great. Thanks.